Well, good morning, guys. Today we're going to continue with the vertebrates. Okay, today we're going to see the 5 groups of vertebrates. Today's class is going to be a bit intense, okay, but don't worry because I want to work it before and after the Easter holidays. So today will just be like first contact with the 5 groups of vertebrates, which you already more or less know, okay, but we're going to go into more detail of the groups and the subgroups that form the vertebrates. Right, the first group is the group of the fish. All right, the fish are all aquatic vertebrates, okay. Some can live in salty water and some can live in fresh water, alright? And there's some that can even live in both types of water, like for example the salmon, which is born in the rivers, lives most of the life in the oceans, and then they go back to the rivers to lay the eggs, okay? The main characteristic of the bodies is the form. Okay, most of the fish have the same form. This is called a fusiform body. Okay, this body allows them to swim very fast in the water. Okay, to have very little resistance to the water and waste less energy moving inside the water, which you know that's quite complicated. They're gonna have as limbs. The limbs are gonna be fins. All right. These fins are used to swim. Okay, they're going to have several different types. The caudal fin, which is the one they use to propel the body, okay, and to swim. The dorsal fins and the anal fins, which are usually to stabilize the body in the swim, and pectoral and pelvic fins to be able to control where they're going. Okay. Then it doesn't appear in this picture, okay, but fish, oh yes it does, sorry, it's here, okay, this line here, okay, is the lateral line. The lateral line is a sensory organ fish have to detect vibrations in the water. Okay, so if you ever try and grab a fish with your hands, it's very difficult because once you touch the water, they are already detecting those vibrations, even if you try and get them by the back, and they don't actually see you. Okay, they locate you by these vibrations. It's very useful as well for in general to detect predators, all right, and to orient themselves in the water. And then the body is going to be poikilothermic, which I explained the other day. It's basically that the temperature of the body varies depending on the environment. So if they live in cold water, the body is going to be cold. If they live in warm water, the body is going to be warm. The body is always going to be the same temperature as the water. All right. There are 2 groups of fish: bony fish and cartilaginous fish. Okay, bony fish, the skeleton is made out of bones. All right. The body as well, the skin is going to be covered by these scales, all right, which when we go to the shop to buy fish, they take them off, okay, but the body is going to be full of scales, okay, which protect them, protect the skin. As well, they're going to have a swim bladder. Okay, the swim bladder is an organ that contains gases and allows them to go up and down in the water without wasting energy. Okay, it makes them float or sink. If they fill it up with air, they're going to float. If they empty it, they're going to sink in the water. All right, and then the gills, which is the structure they use to breathe, is going to be protected by an operculum. Okay, here. So the gills are going to be inside. The water is going to come in through the mouth and come out through the gills, and that's how they breathe, obtaining the oxygen that's dissolved in the water. All right. The cartilaginous fish are going to be sharks and rays. Okay. These are the main examples. The skin is not going to be covered by scales. They're going to be covered by denticles, which allow them to be able to swim even faster in the water. They don't have swim bladders, okay, so they've got to be swimming all the time, non-stop, okay, and they're going to have gill slits, okay, that protect the gills, but that doesn't protect them as well as the operculum, okay. Right, the amphibians. Amphibians are going to be a group of animals that are going to live in wet places, okay, but they're going to mix terrestrial life with aquatic life. In general, they're going to be carnivorous, okay, and the skin is going to be completely naked, okay. They don't have it covered with anything, only with some mucus. You can see it in this real photo, okay, because they're going to breathe through the skin, okay. They're going to mix two types of breathing, okay. They breathe through the skin and they breathe by lungs. In some occasions, they're going to have as well poisonous glands, okay, so the skin is going to be poisonous. They're going to have 4 limbs or legs, okay, and this is going to be one of the characteristics that we're going to have between the two different types of amphibians, okay. The two types of amphibians are amphibians without tail and amphibians with tail. The ones that don't have tail, the body is going to be very short, and the legs, the back legs, are going to be much more developed than the front ones because they usually jump using the back legs. The amphibians with tail, the 4 limbs are going to be more or less the same, and the body is going to be much longer. All right. The body is going to be poikilothermic. Okay, so this, as the same as the fish. Okay, they're not going to control the temperature of the body. All right. Reptiles. The reptiles are going to be poikilothermic, the same as fish and amphibians. Okay. That's why lots of times we see them sunbathing, okay, to heat the body with the sun during the morning, okay. Most of them are going to be terrestrial, although we do have some that are aquatic, and almost all of them are going to be carnivorous, okay. They can even swallow the prey completely. Although most tortoises and lizards are going to be herbivorous, okay, but being herbivorous, they're going to be much slower moving, okay. Now the body is going to be covered by scales, okay, like the fish. Okay, it's a different type of scales, but they're going to be covered by scales. In some occasions, these scales can join, forming a capparis, okay, like in the case of the tortoise. They're going to have 4 limbs, okay, although in one group the limbs are going to disappear. Okay, by evolution, limbs disappear. And that group is the group of the snakes, okay. Usually they have a very pointy tail and very long, okay, and the body is poikilothermic, as I said already. There are 4 groups, okay. We've got the sauria, okay. The sauria are going to be lizards and iguanas, okay. The body is going to be very long and thin, with a very long and pointy tail. All right. The tail in some occasions can even shred and separate and grow again. Okay. Then we've got the testudines. Okay, testudines are tortoises and sea turtles. The body is going to be very short and it's going to have a very hard capparis. Okay, and the terrestrial, the turtles are going to have legs as limbs, but the sea turtles are going to have flippers to be able to swim. The next group are the crocodile, okay, one of the most primitive groups of vertebrates. It's going to be formed by crocodiles and alligators. They're going to have a very long snout, okay, with the teeth, and a very robust body. All right, they're going to have a tail that usually they're going to use it to be able to swim fast, to be able to capture the prey. And we've got the last group that are the ophidians. Okay, they're going to be the boas and the snakes. They're going to have very, 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 very long bodies and very long tails. Okay, the limbs are going to disappear by evolution. Okay, and they're going to move by slithering. Okay, some of them are going to have poisonous glands in the mouth to be able to kill the prey and to be able to eat it. Right, the group of the birds. The birds are going to be terrestrial vertebrates that usually most of them can fly. Most of them are going to be carnivorous, although some are herbivorous as well. Okay, they eat plants and seeds. Now, one of the first things that appear in birds is that they are not poikilothermic. These are going to be homeothermic. They're going to regulate the body temperature. Okay, they're going to waste calories to heat the body. And so that heat isn't lost very fast, they're going to cover the body with feathers. Okay, the feathers at the beginning are not used to fly, but are used to keep the temperature of the body, to not waste too much energy. But by several stages of evolution, okay, the body is going to be fusiform as well, okay, and they're gonna start using these feathers to fly, okay, because the limbs are gonna the forward limbs are gonna adapt and become wings, okay. The back limbs, no, the back limbs are going to be legs, okay, but the front ones are going to become wings to be able to fly, okay. As well, they use a beak, okay, to have different adaptations to different types of feeding, okay. If they feed on nectar, the beak is going to be very long. If they feed on seeds, the beak is going to be very short. If they feed on meat, the top beak is going to be bigger than the bottom one, and it's going to be very sharp, okay. So the beak is going to adapt into different types of feeding, okay. Now the skeleton is going to be very, very light, okay. That's thanks to this. The internal part of the skeleton is going to be hollow, okay. It's going to be empty. It's not going to be as hard as our bones, so the body is less heavy and it's easier for them to fly, okay. We're going to have two types of birds: birds that can fly and birds that are the flightless birds, birds that don't fly. These birds are going to have the back limbs very, very developed to be able to run, okay. We've got the ostrich, for example, okay, the emu in South America, or for example the kiwi in New Zealand. All right, and the last group, the group of the mammals, our group, okay. We're going to have, most of the mammals are going to be terrestrial, although some mammals are going to develop into being aquatic, okay, like for example dolphins or whales. We're going to have a very, very varied diet, okay, from carnivorous to herbivorous and omnivorous mammals. Now, the mammals have a series of characteristics in common, okay. The first one is that, as well as the birds, we are going to be homeothermic, and to conserve the heat of our body, we're going to use hair, okay. Us, the human being, is one of the few mammals that have very, very little hair on the body, and that's because we use clothes, okay. But and some mammals, like for example the dolphins, have very, very few hair. We're going to have 4 limbs, but these limbs are going to develop in lots of different extremities to be able to do different things. We've got arms and legs, okay. Most of the mammals have legs, others are going to have flippers, okay. Even some, like the bats, are going to have wings. Now, the word mammal comes because of our mammary glands, okay, which all the mammals have it, male and female, but only functional in female mammals, okay. And these mammary glands are going to produce milk for the young, for the offspring, okay. We're going to have as well sebaceous glands. These are glands that produce what do you call it, oil, okay, to protect our skin, okay, and sweat glands that are going to produce sweat to be able to lose temperature, okay. The sweat is to be able to control the temperature of our body as well, okay. In our mouth, we're going to have lips, okay, which is going to allow us to suck the milk out of the mammary glands, and teeth, okay. Now these teeth, as well as our limbs, are going to develop in lots of different things, okay, to be able to suck blood, to be able to eat any type of food. Others are going to be to eat meat, others to eat for example plants, okay, etc. As well, something that's very common, it's very common, it's in nearly all the mammals, okay, are our external ears, which amplifies the way we listen our environment, okay. This allows mammals be some of the vertebrates that communicate the most, okay, thanks to our external ears. We've got 3 types of mammals, okay. The first one are the monotremes, okay. The monotremes, where the most important one, or the most common, is the platypus, okay. Then we've got the echidnas, all right, is the other group, which are several species of echidnas, okay. But the platypus is the most known one, okay. These are gonna lay eggs, okay. These are gonna be the mammals that are oviparous, all right. But they produce milk as well. The only thing is that they don't have nipples, okay, so the kind of sweat milk, okay, so the babies have to lick the milk of the skin of the mother. All right, then we've got the marsupials, okay, very common in South America and Australia. The marsupials are known because of the marsupial, okay, which is this bag they have where they're going to keep the offspring, okay, in this pouch, but they are going to be viviparous, okay, but without a placenta. And the last group, which is the biggest group of mammals, are the placentals, okay, the group we belong to, okay, and these are going to feed the offspring during the embryonic development through the placenta. All right. Right, so I know it's a very long and dense class, guys. Don't worry, okay, because we're going to work it now before the Easter holidays, but then I'm going to work it as well after. All right, so I hope you enjoyed your Easter holidays. When the Easter holidays are going to finish, I would please advise you to check through the video again, okay, so that you start a bit more on the theme that we're going to continue, okay. See you guys.